This child is dying. Without the right treatment, he will dehydrate and be dead in a few days. There is a cheap solution which can save his life and the lives of 4 million other children who die every year from dehydration caused by diarrhea. The formula is being promoted by all the major charities, including Lenny Henry in this year's Comic Relief.
The simple solution is this simple solution. 8 pieces of sugar, 2 pinches of salt, add to a litre of water, and it's called ORS. The ingredients are really easy to get hold of, they cost virtually nothing, and here's one we made earlier. It tastes absolutely disgusting, but it saves lives and fast. Hey guys, try this.
While such appeals have led to a wave of compassion and fundraising, the efforts of charities may be in jeopardy. Major drug companies are promoting different products, some useless, others dangerous.
Anti-diarrheal drugs complicate the situation by making children die faster, because the mothers assume that by the use of anti-diarrheal mixtures, the children are better, yet they are losing fluids, and therefore this results into death of children.
Tonight we name the British and American companies that profit from selling the wrong remedies. Western Kenya is one of the many parts of the world where diarrhea is a killer. 1 in 10 children die as a result of it. It's a lush, fertile area. Most people live simply off the food they can grow. They're dependent on the water they can carry from the nearest spring or river for washing and drinking. That water is often contaminated, and so children pick up germs and infections which cause diarrhea. The diarrhea itself will usually only last a few days. But during that time, the child will lose so much fluid and vital body salts that he will dehydrate. Poisons will build up in the body. The victim has difficulty breathing. In the hours before death, the child even lacks the strength to cry. This clinic near the town of Kisii sees 40 cases of diarrhea a week. Maureen Byrne is a trained nurse working with VSO. She's accustomed to the signs of dehydration.
When the baby's dehydrated, the eyes are sunken. The baby usually looks weak, very unhappy. As it becomes more severe and the dehydration is more acute, the baby will become very sick, and if not treated, the baby can die.
The speed of the cure is remarkable. We followed the progress of the baby over 1 day. Monday morning, Vincent is brought to the clinic with acute diarrhea. Without swift treatment, he will die.
This child is having dehydration, obviously. There's sunken eyes, dry mouth, and the skin is elastic.
The skin is shriveled and dry, like an old man's. But fortunately for Vincent, the nurse has been trained to teach mothers about oral rehydration solution, ORS. In the 70s, Britain's leading medical journal described this treatment as potentially the most important medical advance of the century.
She gives slowly by slowly by slowly.
It works on the simple principle that if the child is given sugar and salt mixed with water in the right quantities, he'll be able to absorb fluids again and combat the dehydration. Two hours later, Vincent has already made progress.
Actually, the child now, I think you can see the skin has come a bit okay. It's improved. The face is a bit okay. The sunken eyes have come up, and the child has gained weight.
His skin is taut again, and he's more alert. 6 hours later, Vincent has gained 50 grams in weight, and he's out of danger. The cost is 6p. But this simple, cheap medical miracle, which offers hope to millions of children, finds itself in competition with the might and marketing budget of pharmaceutical companies.
There's nothing that disturbs the tummy and the pride more than an untimely dose of diarrhea. ADM from Welcome takes away the flush. It's a fast-acting, pleasantly flavored anti-diarrhea medicine. Take ADM and take away the flush.
The company which leads the market in anti-diarrheal medicines available over the counter in Kenya is the British Wellcome Foundation. Currently buoyant on profits of over £200 million and a new AIDS drug, they pride themselves on an ethical approach. The pharmacist just down the road from where baby Vincent has been treated reports a very brisk trade in Wellcome's anti-diarrheal product.
She's 3 years.
3 years old? Yeah. Okay. Give her this ADM. Give her 1 teaspoonful twice a day, okay? Yeah. That is 20 shillings. We normally recommend ADM.
Why is ADM popular?
Because it's well advertised.
And isn't it comforting to know it's made by Welcome?
Patients have to pay for medical treatment in Kenya, so they're targets for drug companies' advertising. And the advertising works. More than half the mothers in this clinic paid for expensive medicines before coming here for proper help and oral rehydration.
Yeah, in most cases they give some treatment before they come, mostly the anti-diarrheal mixtures.
Which are the most common?
ADM.
In the surrounding area, people live off the land. If they need money, they'll try and sell some of their food at the local market. The most they could hope to raise for a large bunch of bananas would be 10p, or 3 shillings. The medicines cost at least 20 shillings.
Most mothers around here are quite poor, so they cannot afford that. They take their plants like bananas, they sell if the child is sick, so they can send somebody to the chemist or to the shops to buy them the drug.
They can afford them, but not very easily. Usually they have to sacrifice something else. Maybe they go without milk for that day to buy anti-diarrheal drugs.
But is the product they're saving their money for any good? It advertises on the strength of its special ingredient, Diarex. Dr. Wilbert Bannenberg was in Kenya when the product was launched. He asked Wellcome what exactly this Diarex was.
Well, it suggests to me that you get rid of diarrhea. I mean, they gave me a long chemical name that didn't say anything to me. But when I looked it up in the book, I found out it's just pectin.
And what is pectin?
Well, pectin is actually a jellying agent that you find in all the marmalades. And that makes the stool a bit thicker. We call it a stool cosmetic, but it doesn't do anything useful. They should be honest and say this is just pectin. Every doctor knows that pectin is of limited value. By naming it Diarex, I think they're just misleading the doctors.
The ADM solution is in fact only pectin and kaolin. The World Health Organization say it's not recommended in the treatment of diarrhea.
Based on our review of the available data, I would have to say that there is no evidence that kaolin and pectin compounds shorten the duration or reduce the severity of diarrhea. Furthermore, they do nothing to reduce the loss of water and salts from the body, which leads to dehydration, which is what kills.
I think it's very inappropriate where diarrhea is very severe and where dehydration is such an important problem in these children.
On the ADM packet, it recommends you continue to take the medicine until the diarrhea goes. There's no mention of the need to rehydrate the child.
It should not only say that it's an adjunct to rehydration, but it should also give you some idea of how long you should continue to take it without seeking medical advice. So I think the instructions on that sort of packet are woefully inadequate.
Wellcome refused to take part in this program. They told us in a statement that kaolin is used in many other diarrheal mixtures. We asked them about the ethics of selling a marmalade thickener to children who might die from diarrhea. In support of their case, they said that pectin appears in Martindale's, a chemist's textbook. What they neglected to mention was that this same reference says that pectin's value is doubtful.